aqui é Gabi Wingester e hoje nós temos um assunto muito, mas muito especial. Esse é um vídeo que já está pronto há mais de 1 ano e meio e é nada mais nada menos do que o meu vídeo de formatura da Jocum. Então, para começar, já deixa o seu like, clica no botão, se inscreve no canal, porque a gente vai ter muitas novidades por aqui, ok? Para quem não sabe, caiu de paraquedas no canal, eu passei 6 meses nos Estados Unidos e depois Tanzânia e Zâmbia, que são 2 países da África, fazendo um curso de missões com a Jocum, que é uma sigla para Jovens com uma Missão. É uma organização internacional que trabalha com missões e ela é interdenominacional. E o curso que eu fiz, o DTS, ele é um curso básico de missões, mas ele tem alguns focos, né? Você pode escolher algumas coisas que você quer se focar durante esse tempo. E eu escolhi um curso de artes, né? Eu sou apaixonada por cinema, inclusive foi por isso que eu fiz nos Estados Unidos, porque eu acho que de cinema eles entendem, então eu fiz lá para aprender e mergulhar um pouco mais na indústria cinematográfica. E como projeto de conclusão de curso, eu fiz uma entrevista com pessoas que já trabalham com isso há anos. Eu acho que não teve ninguém que eu entrevistei que trabalha com isso há menos de 10 anos. Né? Eu entrevistei pessoas que moram nos Estados Unidos, pessoas que não moram nos Estados Unidos. Eu quase cheguei a entrevistar uma líder da Jocum na Ásia, mas infelizmente nossos horários não bateram, né? Sabe, fuso horário. E eu conversei com pessoas que trabalham com isso em diferentes áreas. Então, assim, eu aprendi pra caramba com essa galera. A perspectiva deles foi completamente diferente uma da outra. E se você, assim como eu, gosta de arte, gosta de cinema e quer entender um pouco mais do papel do reino nessas coisas, eu te recomendo muito assistir até o final, porque assim, ó, vale muito a pena. E não sou eu que tô falando não, são eles. O vídeo tá em inglês, mas eu vou deixar aqui a legenda em português, porque as entrevistas foram todas em inglês e eu espero que vocês curtam tanto quanto eu curti. Então, bora lá! Olha, eu vou parar de enrolação, mas antes de tudo, deixa o seu like, por favor, não te custa nada. O like, se inscreve no botão de vermelhinho aí de se inscrever, porque a gente vai estar aqui toda semana agarradinho e vamos falar bastante sobre arte, reino e cultura, ok? Então, sem mais delongas, fiquem com o vídeo!
You know, what we have through the internet, if they have the internet, what we have through relationship, which they definitely have that, you know, people can at least fall in the right direction.
Really, our entertainers are the people that people listen to. And so if you can be part of the voice behind those entertainers, influencing them positively, why wouldn't you do that?
But it doesn't always have to communicate a message.
Well, praise the Lord.
What is art? Well, I guess off the cuff, it's a meaningful way of being able to express yourself in a non-traditional way, I guess. And especially, I think, too, of like just, I was a special ed teacher for years and worked with kids who had behavioral issues, trauma, and things like that. And I found, not that I did a lot of art, but I tried to incorporate art as often as I could. And, you know, with a number of kids, it was a really meaningful way of breaking through, for having that special moment to connect, you know, that connectivity that can happen in and through art that doesn't come through other avenues. So
yeah, art is involved in every single society, whether that's a mountain tribe off in a small village or huge urban cities. I think in any kind of society we see art, and art definitely influences and helps to spread ideas, is a factor in spreading ideas, and spreading ideas and getting those ideas that might very likely become values of a society or values of a culture. It gets those ideas presentable in a way that the masses or that most people are going to be in a position to receive them.
Yeah, I mean, even the word kingdom is challenging for a lot of our audience, because you're thinking of government and military and a lot of other things, you know. But to think of a good king and a good kingdom that is not of this world, to think of a way to see his kingdom come, his will be done on earth as it is in heaven, is a prayer that so many believers pray on a weekly and maybe daily basis. And to try to make that reality is a goal in every part of life. uh, a wonderful writer and theologian, Winky Pratney, he was writing a book about this topic, and how, looking at all the ways that in Scripture God does all the jobs that we think of as different, you know, callings and you know, occupations. What are the different occupations of God? And you see him describe himself as a doctor, as a lawyer, as a mother, as a father, as so many different, you know, in a way, a scientist or researcher, and a farmer, and you know, all these many just a diversity of different ways that he shows himself in the history as we see of the Jewish people, and all of his interaction with humanity. I think if we want to be like him, we want to, yeah, not divorce him from any part of our life. So if it's our practical life, if it's our educational life, it's our scientific life of trying to understand the universe around us, every area of literature and knowledge and marketplace work, he he doesn't need to be excluded from anything. And people will easily try to misunderstand that and say we're talking about some kind of politics or theocracy or anything like that. But no, it's inspiration in the heart of good people that discover morality and justice and mercy and forgiveness and redemption, and can bring that with them into all the difficult jobs that exist in the world. So is there any place we wouldn't want light? Is there any place we wouldn't want an antidote for the things that are messed up? I don't think there's any area that we don't want light. We don't want answers. We don't want medicine for the things that are so destroyed. So with all that, I think, you know, we need to do it right. We need to find the right, you know, people to open doors and guide the way, and not to abuse any of the influence or authority that exist in the different spheres of society, but to instead find ways of creating checks and balances and accountability and transparency, things that are desperately needed both in the church and in the business world and in every part of education and arts, and all of the things that we enjoy and need in the world need that same light.
Were we really to have God's kingdom seen in the area of the arts, there would be a different set of values in that way, in that arts can actually serve people. And it's not just about an artist seeking the fame and seeking to be elevated on this high pedestal, but that the artist comes in and serves people. And so the artist can come in and if, you know, I guess I think what I try to do in the arts, and I think arts really have the potential to create atmospheres and to set these platforms and spaces of encounter. And so if as artists we had that kind of godly understanding of, oh, we can curate a space here for encounters with God, or encounters with beauty, encounters with truth, things that are going to uplift people or come alongside people, help people in the grieving process. You know, I think arts has the power for that. And so if we as Christian artists were to be seeking after God's kingdom in the area of the arts, I think we would seek to be doing things of the like.
Definitely think the arts are a wonderful way of bringing in evangelism. I remember when I was a youth minister, we did a number of dramas. So we went to Jamaica twice. Actually, stayed at the YWAM base now. It's the YWAM base in Montego Bay. And so what we did was we did street ministry, and we did. It was so much fun. And the kids that I was working with were teenagers I was working with were so talented, and just being able to communicate it in a way that, you know, brings the dramatic arts around, you know, and like can speak to somebody in a way that going to hear someone speak necessarily, or, you know, hearing a sermon or whatever is different. So I think as far as like evangelism practices, sharing the gospel, definitely in discipleship, I found the visual arts being probably, I would say, as overall maybe more effective, because you have more time to process through it.
I think, yes, it's absolutely possible to do that, because I've known many people who are very successful in film who've never compromised anything. There's not one avenue in film and cinema. There's not one avenue. There's not one studio. There's not one way to do things. There's commercials, there's music videos, there's everything. And so a lot of people, if they're really professional in the industry, one of the things that you do is you find the people who you have a relationship with, and you find the people who, if they don't agree with you on your beliefs, they at least respect it. And there's always going to be the producer out there who, if you say, yeah, I can't do that, it just violates my personal beliefs, who they're going to look at it and they're going to go, I respect that. And so
I think no matter what area of the arts you're going into, my first set of advice would be exactly the same. It's keep going, dream big, push through. Often we dream as artists because we have great imaginations, but then our dreams kind of get hit because things don't happen the way we think they're going to, or as fast as we think they're going to. And we want to stop dreaming. So don't stop dreaming. God's put that imagination and ability to dream within you, so dream big. Now, push through. Remember, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not easy. Every failure we have that we term a failure is actually a growing point, and that's what you have to look at it as, is you have to keep pushing through. You have to say, this mistake I made, this piece of art looks awful, whatever. Oh, I learned something from that, and I'm going to keep going. Being an artist is hard. It's not necessarily the most lucrative job in the world most of the time, until you get up to these points where we see movie stars and great artists around the world. But if you're really called to it, God will provide a way. And that comes back to the trusting Him and being in a relationship with Him, because will He provide you riches and fame? Probably not, because that's not what He's about. I don't know, maybe He will, but really what He wants you to do is follow the calling He's given you, and He will provide everything you need, whether it looks to you like that's what you think you need. And so dream big, push through. Just remember, it's hard work to be an artist. It's not for the faint of heart. So just trust that God has put you here, keep going, and be assured He will provide you what you need, whether that's financial or materials or a job or whatever it is. It's just quite often not in our timing, it's in His timing.
having and again, you need to ask the question, what defines my success? You know, if you don't know what defines your success, then you're going to be more and more likely to compromise your own values in getting there. And also, you need to know, how long am I willing to work to build the thing that I'm trying to do? 5 years isn't enough in many cases. 10 years isn't enough. Sometimes 20 years, 30 years is what's required to build some of these things.